dy by dx means we're differentiating the function of y with respect to the variable x. My first step is to ensure my function is written as powers of x. To write 8 root x as a power of x, I can leave the 8 on the outside for now. I know root x as a power of x is the same as x raised to the power of a half. To rewrite 10 over x as a power of x, I can leave the number 10 alone. I know as the x is on the bottom of the fraction, therefore I know it has a negative power. So 10 over x I can rewrite as a power of x as 10x to the power negative 1, and I've still got negative 5 on the end. When differentiating, we multiply down by the power and subtract 1 from the power. In this case, 3 times 5 will give us 15, and subtracting 1 from the power, I had x to the power 3. Well, 3 take away 1 is 2, so now I've got 15x squared. Once again, multiplying down, I know 2 times negative 7 will give us negative 14. And again, subtracting 1 from the power. Well, 2 take away 1 is 1, so I'm going to have x to the power 1, or I can leave it as just simply single x. I know 3x, well, x is the same as x to the power 1. Again, when differentiating, we multiply down by the power. So 1 times 3 will simply give us 3. And subtracting 1 from the power, well, I know 1 take away 1 will give us 0. And I know anything to the power 0 equals to 1. So 3 times 1 will still be 3. So anything just ending in x will just give us the number in front. Differentiate my next term. Again, I multiply down by the power. Well, a half times 8 will give us positive 4. And again, I must subtract 1 from our power. Well, a half take away 1 will give us negative a half. So I've got x to the power negative a half. Differentiate my next term. Again, we multiply down by the power. Well, negative 1 times positive 10 will give us negative 10. And once again, I subtract 1 from the power. Well, negative 1 take away another 1 will simplify to give us negative 2. And finally, when differentiating a constant, i.e. a number term, if it has no powers of x, that will simply go to 0. To work out d squared y over dx squared, we just differentiate dy by dx with respect to the variable x. Again, when differentiating, we always multiply down by the power. So in this case, 2 times 15, that will give us 30. And we always subtract 1 from the power. Well, 2 take away 1 is 1. So it's just x to the power 1, which we can just leave as single x. Differentiating our next term, if there's no power above the letter x, we know the power is 1. So again, differentiating, we multiply down by the power. Well, 1 times negative 14 will give us negative 14. And we always subtract 1 from the power. And we know 1 take away 1 is 0. And we know from earlier that anything to the power 0 is equal to 1. And negative 14 times 1 is simply just going to be negative 14. Any constant, i.e. number term, in this case, positive 3, when we differentiate, will go to 0. Again, differentiating our next term, we always multiply down by our power. So negative a half times positive 4 will give us negative 2. And we always subtract 1 from the power. Well, negative a half take away 1, that will simplify to give us negative 3 over 2. And finally, differentiating our last term, again, we multiply down by our power. So negative 2 times negative 10, well, a negative times negative gives us a positive outcome. That will give us plus 20. And we always subtract 1 from our power. Well, negative 2 take away another 1. That will simplify to give us negative 3. Now it's your turn. Drop solutions in the chat.